member for Ottawa South.
Mr. Speaker, Treasury Board contracting rules are in place to prevent corruption and political favoritism. And yet documents show in March 2013, the office of the then Minister of Natural Resources, now the Finance Minister, ordered his department to approve a $9,200 payment that, according to his own department, quote, contravenes Treasury Board contracting policies. This was an after-the-fact speechwriting contract for the minister. And who was the money for? None other than Guy Journo, the Prime Minister's former Chief of Staff. Why were proper contracting rules violated?
The Honourable Parliament Secretary to the Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as you know, of course, all Treasury Board guidelines we expect all Treasury Board guidelines to be followed, Mr. Speaker. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, we know, of course, that the Liberal Party still has some $40 million of taxpayer funds outstanding, Mr. Speaker. Now that there is a new member over there, I wonder if she might help them search for that $40 million, Mr. Speaker. Maybe give them a bit of a leg up.
The honourable member for Ottawa South.
Mr. Speaker, government documents make it clear that this procurement was, quote, inappropriately actioned. The amount charged was conveniently just under the $10,000 public disclosure limit. But what's really distressing is that the department has no copy of the speech or any record of whether or where it was actually delivered. Can the minister immediately produce a copy of the speech, and can he advise why taxpayers paid for it if the department has no record of its very existence?
The Honourable Parliament Secretary.
Again, Mr. Speaker, of course we expect all Treasury Board guidelines to be followed, Mr. Speaker. But when it comes to giving speeches and being paid for those speeches, Mr. Speaker, I suggest that he actually ask the leader who sits in front of him, Mr. Speaker, who we know, of course, accepted huge contracts while being a member of Parliament to speak to places like, I don't know, school boards and unions and churches, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we're going to focus on what matters to Canadians, safety and security and the economy. And our plan, of course, has created over 1.2 million jobs. We're getting people back to work, Mr. Speaker. We're cutting taxes, Mr. Speaker. We're investing in infrastructure, and we're going to continue to do that for a very long time to come.
The honourable member for Ottawa South.
Mr. Speaker, Treasury Board rules were broken in order to offer a contract after the fact to a former Chief of Staff of the Prime Minister. The Minister of Natural Resources at the time's office even insisted that this payment be made in an end-of-fiscal-year panic. And even worse, the department cannot find any copy of this speech and does not even know what it was about. How can the minister find this acceptable?
The Secretary of Parliament.
The Parliamentary Secretary.
Great. It's 2:45. We're a number of months ahead of an election. And the best the Liberals have is they want to see a copy of the great speech, apparently, that the Minister of Natural Resources did. They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about cutting taxes, Mr. Speaker. They don't want to talk about the fact that we're giving parents, every single family in this country, more money in their pocket. They don't want to talk about the massive infrastructure program that the Minister of Infrastructure has brought forward, Mr. Speaker. They don't want to talk about the mission that we're taking right now in Iraq, Mr. Speaker. The best that they have is, can you please send us a copy of a speech that was given by the Minister of Natural Resources? I'll take a look and I'll see what other great speeches he's delivered and get.